Alright, Alico 3, I'm going to take a look at some Willie Mays PSA graded cards. Definitely do not have all of the regular Topps issued Mays cards from his day, but I have some of them, and a few of them are in pretty nice grades, so just take a look at some of these sets. So we're going to start from the newest to the oldest. So this is the 73, so he played with the Mets. I don't know too much about that stint, but it looks like in 72 he went over to the Mets, and you can tell in the photo, you know, he's kind of aging. Something with the sixes. It's kind of fun to take a look at the grade and then take a look at the actual card and compare it to the grade and just kind of see what kind of six it is, because as we know, there's different kinds of sixes and sevens, etc. So this is a neat little card, a PSA 6. Not sure the market value on this one, but I'd guess it's probably 30-40 bucks, so not too crazy price for a 6, and it's centered pretty well too. So so we're going to 72 now, and I've got two different copies of this one. I've got a 6 and an 8. So here's the 6. As you can see, the centering is, you know, 75-25 on this one, right to left. So you would think that to the majority of collectors, it seems like centering plays the most pivotal role in determining secondary market prices or whatever. So this would probably be kind of a weak 6 to some extent, although the corners do look very sharp for a 6. So it's kind of like a trade-off. If you want great centering on a 6, your corners probably won't be as sharp as a 6 that's off-centered like this one. So he's in the Giants uniform. Must be his last year with the Giants. So here's an 8 though. So now we went from a 6 to an 8, and this one's still definitely not centered. Close to 50-50, 65-35 maybe. But overall, a cleaner look to this one on this 8. So there's a Mays 8. And then we're going all the way to 1966. So I've got some huge gaps to fill in my Mays PSA registry. I think I'll just do the basic Topps one. Maybe I don't know if they do a Topps and a Bowman one, because I would prefer that one. But if they just have a Topps one, I'll just stick to that one. It's you can't collect everything. So here's a 66 Topps. Great looking card. These classic these vintage Topps cards are just beautiful. So here's a 6. So I've just found a lot of value in buying, you know, 5, 6s, because to me this card looks fantastic for the time period we're talking about, 50 plus years ago. So here's the 6, and then we're going back 1 year. We got the 65. So PSA 5 on this one. It's in the kind of a newer holder, because it's got that little silver PSA hologram, but it doesn't have the white stripe. So this was the holder that came out just before the white stripe one. And then, as we all know now, the most current one is the Lighthouse holder. So here's a nice PSA 5 of the 65 Topps. And then we're going to a set that I think 87 Topps kind of took some ideas from, because it's got kind of like the wood grain for borders. And I don't know what's going on with the surface of this one. That must be why it's a 5, because it's not centered too bad. It's got a little softness on the corners, but you see on the surface here, these little like lines, almost looks like sawdust on the card. So that must definitely have brought it down a little bit, because the backside of this is beautiful. So there's the 62 Topps. Um, 61. So the photography in this one is a little bit lazy in my opinion. He doesn't even have his cap on, and you can't really see the Giants jersey down here. But nonetheless, 61 Topps is still a cool set, and this is a solid 6. It's centered pretty well. So a nice looking 6 right there. I have 3 of the 60s, of course, because if you guys watch the videos, I'm in love with the 1960 Topps baseball design. I like how there's 2 different photos. You kind of like a face, close up on the face, and kind of an action pose. I think that's a cool look. So here's a 5 in that one. It just looks like a typical 5. Then we have a couple 6s. So Here's 1/6. The back and the 6. And another 6. This one was graded more recently with the silver hologram and the white stripe. So here's another 6 right there. And then we're going back 1 year, and I've got a couple of these, and then the next one coming up is probably my best maze in my collection. So here's a 59 PSA 6. Neat card right there. This little circle is pretty slick right there. I always love these little cartoon things that they did too on these cards. Just neat. So there's a 6, and then we have a PSA 8. So this one was kind of pricey. Obviously, you get a card of the player of the caliber of Willie Mays and a PSA 8 from a 59 card. You're going to pay a premium. I think it was like 450 bucks. But this is definitely my best one, and it's just beautiful. You know, it's a little off center, but that's kind of what you'd expect out of an 8. So a beautiful 8 from 1959 tops. And then that is the oldest maze tops I have, so I need to get some older maze tops cards. But I do have the 54 Bowman, which is a solid 5.5. So 54 Bowman 5.5, recently slabbed, and just an overall neat looking card. So 54 Bowman. His rookie, I believe it was 51 or 50. I think it was 51, the same as Mantle. The 52 Topps Mantle is not a rookie, but I mean, it's kind of seen as such an iconic card that you don't even really think about it being the rookie. Mantle's rookie is the 51 Bowman. So that's it for my maze PSA registry. It's not the strongest, but I'm pretty proud of it. Later.